Hello Gundam Wing fans, this is Speedball Haro and today I'm doing a Gunpla Classic review of the limited model Leo Custom. And for those who don't know what a limited model is, well, these were model kits that were released in the late 90s for the 90s Gundam series. And pretty much what they were was Bandai's way of making grunt and mobile support units for the Gunpla line of no grades and lower high grades, as an example being the Leo here. As we all, because for those who aren't aware, most of the 90s Gundam wing kits or the no grade wing kits pretty much had no grunt based mobile suits. They were just mainly the Gundam team and such like that. So this was Bandai's way of producing very simply made Gunpla units for each series so fans could do army building and such like that. And of course, each certain series has got at least 1 to 2 limited model units. But of course, being the name limited model also meant that sadly these were only ran for so long, for each series. But luckily, though, for Wing's case, they did, however, at least get 2 units out of the line, and the second one being a unit we still haven't received in any kit form besides this, the Taurus Custom, as you can see here. Now, pretty much their line for this was very simple kits, based, of course, directly on the no grades, though they were much more basic. And why I say that, well, we'll get into when we get to the articulation. But one way I can say it is that for the kits themselves, they were not color separate at all. None of them were. They were one color, requires a good amount of paint work, as you can see here, because that's what I did here. All of this has been custom painted, so he matches his actual colors. Because originally, and to show you, this is the original runner from this kit, and as you can all see, if I can get a good angle on it, the color plastic you see right here is exactly what the whole kit looked like if you just straight build it, simply put. The only extra color parts was the gray polycap parts that the no gray line had and used. And same, of course, for this guy. So, of course, I'm very glad I got him due to the fact that I have a Leo addiction. But he is very simple, but he does have really cool details, as you can see. All the details are molded on him. Missiles, details, hatch, face, vents, all that. These are all molded into the plastic, which is really cool and made it a little easier to paint without having to do too much extra detailing as in making the details itself. And of course, I really do like how they did the gun here, as you can see. Now, minus the color fact. The detail-wise is really accurate. In fact, if you compared it to the new high-grade After Colony Leos, their details are very similar to each other. And of course, I will be comparing that in a minute. But of course, first, let's go through the articulation, as I mentioned. Of course, being that these kits were super basic in their molds, they were like, these would probably take less time than a 30-minute missions kit to just straight build. But the problem with that is, because of that fact, meant that they have a lot less articulation than you would want. For example, well, as you can see, trying to spin his waist, well, he doesn't have one. Literally, this little guy does not have a waist nor a head articulation. It's just like this. You just shake him and there you go. The only real articulation points are, of course, are the arms, as you can see. He can do a full 360 elbow bend up to a point, as you can see. He can twist his elbow because of the polycap connection. He does have a wrist due to the polycap hand that you can turn all the way around good. And of course, being as you see here, he can hold certain weapons, as you can see. And, hold on, he does have leg articulation. See, he can bend his leg that far due to the thrusters, and that far. And he does have full elbow, it's full knee bend all the way. And he actually does have foot articulation. That is pretty cool, being how limited the other parts of articulation are. Now, he does have another part of articulation, but that's where the waist section here connects into the body, but it's pretty tight in there, so I don't really want to, move it too much, nor could you, because of how the thruster points are, well, made and such like that. And yeah, that's pretty much all he has for articulation, sadly. But of course, being for the 90s line of no grades, it would definitely be a must-have for the kit line, being that Leos were one of the main grunt units in the series, so of course you had to have a couple. And of course that was the main purpose to this line, was for you to buy as many as you could. And even on the manual you have right here, which really has really cool artwork, because this is from the anime. I like that fact about that. And even actual clips from the anime of multiple variations of the Leo. And of course that was their main gimmick to this series, of kit, was to make, well, have you, I mentioned, buy multiple and paint to make the other variations. So this way you could have all three variants. And as I mentioned, as you could literally, if I can get this to show it right, is very basic instructions that you can see right here. Now, as for any decals like normal any no grade kit would have, this kit doesn't come with much, actually any at all. And I don't mean as in like color correction. He only comes with these little warning stickers and such, as you can see here. That is literally all he comes with. No color correction at all. So yeah, but the joys of painting, am I right? But of course, if you had the actual no grade line and such like that, like I have right here, he would look really nice, because now you'd have the Oz Mobile Suit opponent for your wing collection. And of course, one reason why, and another good display piece with a good wing logo, like my acrylic wing logo I have right here. And now, of course, with size comparisons, let's move him over here for a sec. And as you can see, these were, of course, all the same height, 144 and such like that. And isn't that much different to even the standard size nowadays, as you can see right here with my actual high grade Leo, as you can see. As you can see, these guys really aren't that much different in height, only by a few inches. And other than that, they really do, it really looks nice when you have, of course, the other wing kits and such. The only major issue that I know that I have and others have had with these kind of kits, well, this limited model line of kits, is that they do have bad seam lines, as you can see right here on his leg, if I can get that to come in. Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's a lot of seam lines, so that would require some good work and sanding and such to clear that up. So yeah. But of course, it's just fun to have, being if you collected the older kits and such like that. So yeah, that's about it for today on this little guy. So of course I will say this: do I recommend the LM Leo Custom? Honestly, not to regular builders, no. And there's a reason. If you're into Gundam Wing and you're into collecting the whole line of kits and such like that, and you just want as many copies and versions as you can, and you want to get the no grade line of kits, then yeah, I could recommend that, because you're gonna want one with your wing and such, and the Tallgeese, of course, and things like that. But if you're just a standard builder and you like high grades and more newer based kits, or just kits that you're not used to painting a lot with yet, I would more or less just go with the high grade Leo, because they definitely have better color correction in that sense, and cost is definitely going to be a lot better, because sadly, due to the fact these are very hard to come by, as mentioned earlier, means that nowadays these kits especially cost close to, I've seen them go for like master grade level prices. And I don't mean like simple master grades, I mean like almost past Verkaz and such. I've even seen a couple go even up to that of the Deep Strikers price range. And that's just for one. So yeah. Luckily though, being that we do have the high grade Leo, means that the LM Leo might not be as bad because they won't charge you as much for it. So it will. I've seen those little guys. I've seen the LM ones at least drop in price since the high grades release. So yeah. But sadly, if you are trying to collect all the LM ones, especially for wing, you're gonna have the most trouble trying to get the Taurus. I could tell you that for right now. At least until we get an actual high grade Taurus. Am I right, Bandai? But other than that, yeah, that's about it for today on this little guy. As I always say, I thank you all for coming. I hope you're all safe, enjoying your hobbies, and of course, I hope you, for fans of Gundam Wing, I hope you consider enjoying the mobile suits. Gundam Mobile Suit Oz is Grunt Force the Leo. So I thank you all for coming, and have a nice day.